live from Zermatt, Switzerland. Stoked to be on here with you guys for the next hour. Gonna answer any questions you guys have about snowboarding in Zermatt, summer snowboarding. Up to now, we've been here for the last week and a half, snowboarding up in the snow park in Zermatt. Incredible spot, and yeah, we've got lots of great days of riding in. So I just want to talk to you guys about that, and also see what you guys are up to. If you guys have any questions, see what your guys' plans are for snowboarding. If you're in the southern hemisphere, I know it's a pretty good time for you guys. So I hope you guys are getting some good snow down south. And if you guys are in the northern hemisphere, we're a bit more limited as to where we can go. But in Europe, Zermatt is definitely one of my favorite spots, at least. So been having a great time. So yes, want to come on, talk to you guys about that, answer any of your guys' questions that you have about snowboarding, and just check in with everyone, see how everyone's doing. So like right off the bat, let's give some shout outs to some of the people that got in here early. So shout out to El Stacker saying to cannonball the like button. Thank you, El Stacker. We got AJ on here as well. AJ Sunny Views, awesome. Thanks for tuning in. We got Bad Riders all the way down from Australia. Awesome. Adam, thanks for hopping on, man. Barzy says, yo, Kevin, this is Brian. Yo, what's up, Brian? Thanks for hopping on, brother. So yeah, we got tons of people on here. We got somebody called Garlic Grease. That's a new name on here. What's up, man? William Pham. Cliseru is on here. So he says, anyone around Zermatt want to go biking tomorrow? Man, biking would be super fun too. Yeah, there's some incredible mountain biking, I'm sure, around these mountains. I think we only have 2 days left of snowboarding. So going to be probably snowboarding tomorrow and the next day. But yeah, that's a great idea too. If you're into mountain biking, Zermatt, these mountains have some incredible mountain biking, I'm sure. All right, we got David on here from Sweden. What's up, David? And we got, El Stacker saying, where is everyone watching from? Yeah, it's always good to hear. Yeah, where's everyone watching from? I know El Stacker's watching from Boise, Idaho. Oh, Cliseru is watching from Zermatt as well. What's up, man? Awesome. Adam, of course, in Melbourne, Australia. Stan Lecco is watching from Hong Kong. All right. Adam shouting out the mustache. Yeah, I've been growing it out a little bit. Just changing things up. I think in the summertime, you got to kind of trim the rest of the facial hair to stay a bit cooler. Kimberly saying what's up. But yeah, just to tell you guys about Zermatt. So we arrived here about a week and a half ago. I think it was like a Wednesday night. The first day was actually, we didn't get to ride because up on the glacier, sometimes if the weather's bad, if there's too much rain or wind, they can't open up all the T-bars and the whole area up there. So the first day we missed. Then we got to ride the Friday, and it was incredible. First day back, going up into the park, getting the legs back, and it's a really cool journey to get up there. So you take like a super long gondola. So behind me is the town of Zermatt, and the town kind of stretches the length of the valley. And then on this side of the valley is where you hop onto the gondola, and the gondola takes you up past 3 or 4 stops, and then you get out, and then you get onto a bigger gondola, which takes you right to the peak. And it's really impressive out here in Switzerland, the gondola setup and how they have it so that they can take you way to the peak of the mountain on gondolas. So that's incredible. And then up there's a huge glacier with T-bars, lots of ski camps happening. But the reason that we came is for the snow park. So the snow park setup is incredible. They have 3 or 4 lanes The lanes actually kind of like get a bit bigger the further down you go in the park, and each lane will have like boxes, rails, tubes. There's like 5 jumps, 3 small and 2 like sort of medium large-ish jumps, and then also like a quarter pipe at the bottom. So lots of options, and so we've been doing that every day, and then at the end of the day you can actually continue to hike too. So we've been hiking pretty long after the park is closed, just to get as much riding in. But yeah, so that was the first day, Friday, getting our legs back. And then the Saturday, Sunday, we actually had 2 more sort of like bad weather days just because of some like high winds and rain. So 2 days off, but then since then we've been snowboarding every day. So getting up onto the mountain and just, it feels like every day we're up there, we're an awesome way to keep the legs back throughout the summer. And then, yeah, the park setup is incredible. So we're meeting tons of people up there. And the cool thing too is that you can actually come up from Italy as well. So there's like the merging of Italian and Swiss riders all coming up to the top there. So lots of people having a good time snowboarding, and yeah, that's what we've been doing so far. Yeah, and today was a down day. We had some more bad weather last night, but I think the next 2 days should be warm and sunny. So yeah, really stoked for that. All right, let's see if we got some more good questions coming through here. Pure Vibe says, wait, there is snow in Switzerland. Off my data, hope everything is all good. Carlo wants to know, how much are ski tickets in Zermatt? So I believe we got like a summer pass. I'm actually not sure how much it was. The mountain's like helping us out with getting up the mountain, but I think like a day pass is between 70 and 80 Swiss francs. If anyone knows for sure on the chat, it'd be great to confirm that. Adam wants to know with the super chat, thanks for the support, man. He says, hey Kev, where are the mythical twins? So yeah, the buddies that came out from England to meet up with me and help with filming and everything, Yannick and Rav, I think they're like getting some food ready, and they're probably watching the chat too. So we've been like making all of our own meals here, and I think they're either coming back from the grocery store or they're making some nachos for dinner. Oh, they just whistled. Ben says, you're gonna be coming to Lake Louise next season. Yeah, Lake Louise would be incredible. All right. Dominic says, what is the weather like in mid-September there? I haven't been there in September. I haven't been here in September, but last year I was here in August. And so it's like it's summer glacier for sure. And then we were also here. Yo, Yannick, what's up? How's it going? Yo.
You like the mustache?
Nice. Nice. How was the grocery shopping? This is good?
No opinions.
Okay. All right. What was I talking about? So, yeah, what's it like in October? So in October, they start to get a lot of snow back up here. So October starts snowing again, and they actually unlock like a lot more of the mountain. So in between in September, I think it's probably like a mix. Summer glacier riding, but also with some more snow like on the way as it gets colder. Pure Vibe says, we always see you snowboarding right away in your videos. I was wondering if you have a pre-snowboarding routine. To be honest, I don't really have a pre-snowboarding routine. I just kind of get my gear ready, have breakfast, maybe some coffee, and then head up the mountain. And usually when I'm riding, I think it depends. Like park days, it's a lot of like warm-up laps, just kind of like getting into the whole like zone of riding the park. And then on a POW day, it's usually like straight into it, because the first runs of the day are usually the best, so like straight into the POW riding. But most of my preparation really happens the night before. So if I can do some stretching, or if I can get like one of those like Theraguns and like use a Theragun, or like combine that with stretching the night before, I feel like that really helps me for the next day of riding. So, and also getting like a good night's sleep. So Good food, sleep, and some stretching, and maybe like a massage gun. All those things kind of help you prepare for the next day. But the day of, it's usually just like straight into it. Bad Rider says, I've just put up some vids on my channel. It would be awesome if you check them out. Also, can we get a DWC shout out? Yeah, shout out to all the OGs over on the DWCP group. And yeah, Adam, I'll have to check out some of your vids. I saw some of them on Instagram, man. The conditions down in Australia look incredible. We got Jayanta watching from India. Awesome. We got Parsi. All right, I'm gonna try to get to as many of these questions as possible. Noah wants to know, is there a quarter pipe in Zermatt? Yeah, the snow park has a really nice quarter pipe at the bottom, and it's probably my favorite feature actually. Like just at the end of the park, you can always like attempt something at the bottom in the quarter pipe. And so we're either hitting it at the end of the lap or we try and session it at the end of the day, just hiking. So every day we're in the quarter pipe. And the quarter pipe is fun. You can, off the corners, you can do like spins, like work on spins. If you hit it in the middle, you can maybe get to the vertical part of it, work on hand plants, or maybe just like coming back into the pipe. So lots of like really fun tricks coming out of the quarter pipe or staying in it. It's super fun. And we got Pure Vibes with the super chat as well. Thanks for the support, Pure Vibes. Is that 6,100 yens? Very cool, thank you. We also got NGen on here too, one of the OGs. Thanks NGen for hopping on. All right. But yeah, it's been super fun out here in Zermatt. I don't know if you guys can see too much of the mountains, but the mountains here in Switzerland are incredible. They're definitely like the biggest, like Switzerland, Austria, Italy, France, this whole like the Alps in Europe are just like next level. So it's an incredible experience. Even if you're coming out not just to snowboard, but just for the experience being in the mountains, it is really cool because it's unlike anywhere else that I've ever been, at least. Like we don't have anything like this really in North America that's this big. I know that the peak of Zermatt is around just over 13,000 feet, I believe. And the peak of Whistler is at about 8,000 feet. So just putting it into perspective, like how much bigger everything is out here. And Bad Riders, yeah, with a question about the elevation, says, what's the altitude like where you are, Kev? Yeah, Adam, you definitely, so when you're in really big mountains, you feel the altitude the first few days. So there was like 3 days of not only having jet lag because I'm like in a 9-hour different time zone, but also when you get up to like 13,000 feet and you're up there riding and just like, even if you're just hanging out, you feel the altitude for sure. It kind of feels like you have like a mild like flu when you're up that high. You feel tired, out of breath, just a bit like hazy, and you feel a bit funny. So the altitude up at 13,000 feet definitely gets to you a bit the first few days. But I usually find that by day like 4 or 5, if you can get up there like consistently, then that feeling starts to like just go away, and then you're good for the rest of the trip. But there's definitely some altitude sickness that happens the first few days. Antonio says, is there riding this time of season? Yeah, Antonio, for sure, man. And I got a couple videos coming out soon that are gonna highlight sort of just how much riding there is to do up there. So to give you guys an idea, so there's a fairly long ride to the park. It takes at least, it's like a decently 5-minute ride down some steep terrain to get to the park. Then once you're at the park, there's lots of snow. It's all filled in, so you get lots of laps through the park. And there is some like off-piste riding, but it's you don't really want to do it unless you're like a really experienced rider. So I was lucky enough to meet up with some experienced guys, Tom and Cedric, who actually yeah, helped kind of showed me around a little bit, and we got to do some like a bit of like big mountain riding up there too. So there's there's a lot of riding. There's some groom stuff, there's the park, and there's some off-piste stuff, which I think unless you know like somebody, or you have like you know the area really well, or if you're an experienced like big mountain rider, it's not safe to do it. But yeah, I did a little bit, and you guys will see some of that in the next video too. But yeah, shout out to those guys too. Some of the guys from Nidecker came out and rode with us for a day, and we had like a super fun time checking out some Nidecker boards too. And you guys will see that in the video coming up. We also got Jose Bortisa on here with the super chat saying thanks for the support, Jose, and he says hola Kev and high five the twins for me. When is your gear list coming out, and what will be the daily driver today? Hashtag Nacho Fund. Thanks for the Nacho Fund, man. I don't know what my daily driver is gonna be. I feel like every season I always want to come out with like I want to find some gear that I'm gonna be stoked on, but gear that I can also that is a bit different. Like you know, in years past, I've had the Orchid for a season. I've had the Headspace in the park. The Super DOA for the park last year, and also the Ultra Mind Expander for POW, and you know, in years past, other boards too, the Solomon Huck Knife, and yeah, so many other ones. But each season I want to kind of go with something new and not just ride the same POW and park board over and over again. So I'm gonna have to like really do some research and let you know, Jose. But as soon as I know, I'll let you know and make that video. But it probably won't be until like late October. I'm thinking late October, maybe mid October. I'll have my gear list ready. Engen saying try the Capita Mercury. Engen, yeah, for sure. That one's on my mind. It looks incredible. The Mercury, also the Mega Mercury. So a couple boards I'll have to look into. Michael asking, did TJ go on this trip? Unfortunately, TJ didn't get to come. He doesn't have his COVID vaccine. You need to come to Switzerland. You need to have your you either need to be vaccinated. I'm not sure of all the rules, vaccinated or a negative test. But if you're not vaccinated, you have to quarantine for however long. So he didn't have all that set up, but he might come on the next trip. So hopefully coming to Austria in a month or a month and a half, or maybe 2 months. And yeah, hopefully TJ will be able to come on that trip. And as soon as I get the next trip locked in, I'll let you guys know and add it to the world tour. And hopefully we can meet up with some of you guys as well. Jayanta Paul says, do you have a plan tour in India? Blomberg, Kashmir. So we're actually looking at Kashmir. I think we would have been there already if travel was a bit easier, but I think because of the travel restrictions and what's been happening, we're kind of putting off the India and Kashmir just a little bit further until we can just like really lock in the trip ahead of time. So I don't think we're gonna be able to make it there this winter, but if travel kind of eases up and is a bit easier, then I think for me, that's like the top of my list for the 2022-23 season. So hopefully 100% that season. And Jen saying you should come back in the winter, even more fun. Absolutely, yeah, I can imagine all the terrain that when you're going up there, you're just passing by all this terrain that doesn't have snow, and I can't imagine what it would be like with snow. So we'll definitely have to keep that in mind. And Jen saying also the Capita Mercury is a very nice board. Yeah, it looks like it, man. I definitely want to ride it. It's kind of like one of the ones on the forefront of my mind. So gonna keep my eye on it for sure. All right, and I think we've got, but yeah, there's some other cool things that we've done. There's actually, you can't quite see it, but there's a train that goes up the mountain behind me as well. So like one day we took the train up, and you can get some incredible views. Here in Zermatt, they also have the Matterhorn. So I don't know if you guys have heard of the Matterhorn Mountain, but it's one of the most like incredible looking mountains in the world. It's actually what is on the Toblerone chocolate bar, like the wrapper is the Matterhorn. So that's a really cool thing to check out while you're here. And people hike the Matterhorn like daily if the weather's good as well. So yeah, it's one of the most incredible, I think, hikes you can do. I think you have to be like quite experienced though, because there's a lot of risk involved. So I haven't done it yet, but the Matterhorn is like definitely one of the attractions here in Zermatt. But just like tons of things to see and do in the town. And I don't know if you guys can hear it as well, but there's a river that runs right through the center. So like incredible river, cold water, like glacier water. Yesterday with Nathan, one of the dudes from Switzerland who's here for a trip with his snowboard team. Him and I, we kind of did like a bit of a dip into one of the ponds up on the mountain, and it was like the pond was connected to the glacier. So we had like ice chunks kind of floating all around us. So yeah, just an incredible spot for the mountains, for some cold water dips, and like all the sites as well. So if you're into mountain biking, they have that here, but also the snowboarding up on the glacier in the snow park is all time. In Motion saying cannonball the like button. Thanks, Yannick. And Jen saying the light blue water. Yeah, man, that light blue water from all the glacier runoff, it's incredible. Fish saying, is it slushy up there, fella? It is slushy. It starts out firm though. Like the first, I would say that if you can get to the park by say like 10 a.m., the first hour and a half, it's pretty firm park. And then it slowly, gradually starts to get more and more slushy. But it doesn't get to the like slushy point where it's like throwing you off too much. Even yesterday, like when our last day riding, it was probably the warmest day, and we hiked after the T-bars had closed. We continued to hike for like another at least half an hour, 45 minutes, and all that time hiking, and it was still like firm enough that you could still, have clean approaches and landings, and you weren't kind of getting buried in too much slush. So it was, the snow's like a good consistency. It's pretty impressive. Ethan wants to know, have you looked at any battalion boards? Yeah, I've looked at a few battalions. I know that TJ from Board Archive, he loves battalions as well. He rides the Evil Twin as his main board. So yeah, battalion is cool. I had the Battalion Surfer as one of my POW boards last winter, and that was super fun to ride with the 3BT tech in the nose and tail. So yeah, some super fun boards. So I'll have to look at battalion as a possible board for either my park or POW or like all mountain board. We got Nadine on here, says quite a while since I've caught a live. Awesome, Nadine, welcome back. We got Alexander with the super chat. Thanks, Alexander. Says, is Patrick from Intense Laps Vid there for another amazing video? What do you think about the positive? What do you think about positive and positive binding setup? I intend to try this setup influenced by the Karua team. Nice. So Alexander, yeah, so Patrick from the Intense Laps video, he is not here at the moment. I'm not sure if he's gonna be here this weekend, but I hope he is, because yeah, last year it was super fun riding with him, making that video. So if he's back, I'm definitely going to try to follow him for a few laps and get some good video of him. But yeah, he hasn't been here yet, so fingers crossed we'll see him this weekend. If any of you guys haven't seen it, check out the Intense Laps video, and also follow Patrick over on Instagram. I think it is, what's his Instagram handle? Maybe I'll put it in the description after the video, But yeah, he's incredible in the park. And also you asked about the positive and positive binding setup. So yeah, if you want to do your binding setup so that both bindings are facing forward, that can be a really great stance if you intend to only be going in one direction, maybe getting some like really dynamic carves happening, and it could even work in powder as well. So yeah, give it a try. Yeah, if the Karua team is doing it, and yeah, they actually absolutely crush it with the carving videos. So that's like a really good, can be a good idea if that's the style of riding you're going for. You know, everyone has a different style, different things they like to do on their board. And so when you're doing different things, you also have different setups. Some people like to have their bindings more narrow, some people more narrow, far apart, different angles. Some people like to even have it like more straight on. So you can play around with it however you like and see how it feels for you. So yeah, give it a shot. And yeah, shout out to that the Karua team, because yeah, they've put out some really fun videos the last few years. Jayanta Paul with I think the question is how much time per year do you put into becoming a pro snowboarder? Yeah, that's an interesting question, man, because for snowboarding, it is all about time. Actually, the video that's going to come out in 2 videos from now, I talk a lot about putting time into your snowboarding and how it is really the most important piece to progressing and possibly getting to that point where you can become a pro or win contests, is just putting in the time. And you know, it can be tricky because you need to live someplace near snow, or if you're fortunate enough to be able to like travel to the snow, but being able to do it, getting out on trips while you're there too, just like putting in that like while you're riding, putting in the proper time, like actually working on your skills and technique, and yeah, like really just putting the effort in when you're on the mountain. So time is number one. So I don't know what the number would be, but I can imagine that when it's your winter, you probably need to be snowboarding the entire winter, the entire season. So for myself in Canada, the season is roughly from November until May, and I try to be riding every month. So, you know, I think wherever you are, you got to be riding your entire winter on a regular basis. And then beyond that, you know, trying to get out for a couple trips in the off season. So, you know, there's not a ton of places to go snowboarding in the off season, but here in Europe, you have Zermatt, you have a few other resorts that have glaciers where they set up parks. So, you know, maybe doing some trips a few times throughout the off season to those types of places. In North America, we have Mount Hood, where they have snow like through August or through the middle of August. Or the other option too is to like go down to the Southern Hemisphere where it's the winter down south. I know a lot of pro riders, they spend, you know, if they were born in the Northern Hemisphere, they'll do the winters up north, and then in the summer, they'll actually go south where it's the Southern Hemisphere winter. So trying to do those back-to-back winters. That's probably the best way to do it, is to find the time to be spending, you know, to have back-to-back winters and just putting that time in, and that's it. And then it's not just gonna magically happen. Like, you still have to like put in the effort while you're there, but I think that's what gives you the best chance of becoming pro. And Jen saying there is a lot of wind in Hintertux. Okay. Good to know, man. Yeah, it's I think the days that it's been closed here has been because of wind, but we've been fortunate. It still has been open most. Oh, it just cut out for a second. Hope it's back. Okay, Osvaldo is saying we have 2.5 months of snow here in Colorado. Osvaldo, you have way longer than that. I've been snowboarding in Colorado in October and also in April. So it's like October to April. It's not 2.5 months, Osvaldo. Come on. And then also in Colorado, you have the Woodward Copper summer camp happening, where they have that massive chunk of snow in the summer. So you can snowboard in the summer in Colorado as well. Yeah, Stefan also saying Hintertux in Austria also has summer snowboarding. Yeah, absolutely. We were there last year. A bit later, it was the fall, like October, but yeah, had a really incredible time in Hintertux as well. Patster asking, how long are you going to be in Switzerland and where to next? Yeah, so I'm going to be here just until Sunday. So it's going to be almost 2 weeks this upcoming Sunday. And then I'm still in Switzerland Monday morning, but fly out of Geneva airport Monday morning and then back to Canada. So it's the entire trip, including like travel days, is about 2 weeks. But yeah, working on the next snowboard trip, but have to kind of plan it with how countries are opening or closing. So we're going to see how that goes. Ty asking, what's your favorite all mountain / park board? Ty, good question. To be honest, in the last year, the Super DOA has definitely been one of my favorites. Like, you can definitely take it all over the mountain and into the park. And I think what makes it kind of versatile for both is it's a bit stiffer than a lot of the park boards I've ridden in the past. So that stiffness gives me like stability for like riding steep faces, maybe doing like small drops, or just kind of like fast riding when you're riding all mountain with some speed. So the stiffness helps. I actually like the stiffness of the board in the park. Also, like you just feel a bit more stable, and you can kind of catch yourself on landings a bit better, I think, with that stiffer board. And then also the Super DOA is camber. And then towards the tips, it starts to have that like early rocker out. So it's not like too catchy as you ride it. So it has some stability because of the camber, but it's not like overly like catchy as you ride because of the rocker towards the tips. So for me, that's like it's like that good happy medium between giving you the stability for the park, but also for all mountain riding with some speed. But it's not overly aggressive. Oh, as Valdo says, I meant our season starts in 2.5 months. Definitely. Okay, that makes more sense as Valdo. Thanks, man. Jamie saying, man, that view is beautiful. Sure, it's a digital background. No, this is real. I can't quite reach that plant over there, but yeah, this is all real, man. Oh yeah. Yeah, the views out here in Switzerland are incredible. The town is like just below the town of Zermatt. There's a river down there, and the gondola, it's like if you follow, there's like a path this way for maybe just 5 minutes, not even. That's where you get on the gondola to go up the mountain. And if I could show you guys this way, there's kind of a building in the way, but is the Matterhorn, which is one of the most iconic mountains in the world. As Valdo asking, yeah, why didn't TJ go on the trip? So TJ was actually, so with the COVID stuff, I think he didn't have his vaccine yet, but hopefully he comes to Austria in a few months. Parzi saying the views alone are worth the travel. Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, the views out here are just incredible. For like a trip to the mountains, you can't beat the Alps. Like the people, the food, the buildings, the views, it's all really, really incredible. We still got El Stacker on here. El Stacker, thanks for hanging out, man. Ford Phillips wants to know, what factors convinced you to switch from the Capita Outsiders to Super DOA? To be honest, I really like both of those snowboards. The Outsider feels very similar to the Super DOA. I think the main difference that I feel is maybe the Super DOA is a bit lighter, and I think it's a bit lighter. It's slightly more snappy, and it maybe has a little bit more play in the nose and tail, like a little bit easier to press. But the Outsiders is awesome as well. I think the difference between those two boards mainly is the price too. Like the Outsiders is a bit cheaper, but yeah, very similar boards. I love them both, to be honest. If somebody just handed me an Outsiders and stole my Super DOA, I'd be happy with the Outsiders as well. So both great boards. I think I probably switched just because I wanted to try something different. But yeah, Outsiders is a great board too. Turning Board says, have you ridden the Matterhorn ride at Disneyland? No, man, I haven't been to Disneyland yet, but yeah, they have like the real thing here, so that's pretty crazy. But I'll have to check the one out at Disneyland too. Oh, we got Jillian on here too. What's up, Jill? Jill says, hey, Kevin, beautiful background. Excited to watch the next SPC video. Awesome, thanks, Jill. And I'll be home. I'll see you soon. But yeah, video coming out pretty soon. And then I've got two kind of like in the works, and then we still have 2 days left, so we'll get at least another video filmed as well. So lots of videos coming from Zermatt, Switzerland. David saying, will you be there tomorrow? I live nearby. I'm thinking about pop by to say hello. David, yeah, so I will be here tomorrow. So if you can, the best way is to come up to the glacier if you snowboard or ski, and just hang out in the terrain park, and I'll be up there, man. I'll be up there all day tomorrow. If the weather is cooperating and all is good, I'll definitely be up there tomorrow, David. So yeah, hopefully you can meet up then. Yeah, shout out to everyone that I've met up at the glacier too. Been having a great time. Met Nicole from Germany. She was out here snowboarding for a few days and was getting some awesome tricks in the park. And yeah, Nathan from Switzerland here with his snowboard team, and meeting a ton of riders as well from Italy. So shout out to all the Italian riders up there, and yeah, just meeting tons of riders. Actually, mostly from Italy too. There's a big Italian presence up in the snow park, just from everyone coming up from the Italian side. So it's pretty cool to see. Jayanta wants to know, how many years have I been snowboarding? So I've been snowboarding for, I think 21, no, more. I think it's been like, I think I've been snowboarding for 25 years. So quite a while. My entire length of snowboarding though, I think the first half of my snowboard career, if you can call it that, wasn't a ton of like consistent snowboarding. When I was younger, when I was a kid, I would only go maybe a few times a winter with like school or with friends. So there'd only be a few days of winter when I was younger. And then when I was a bit older, in my 20s, and I moved out to Whistler, that's when I snowboarded more, but I still didn't have like the mindset to like snowboard with intention of like improving, or to like just really riding with that full commitment. And it wasn't until a bit later where I got a bit more like serious about snowboarding and starting the channel that I really tried to like commit myself to like snowboarding more with like intention of improving and learning tricks and like just learning more things for myself. So yeah, once I started the channel, that's when I definitely was able to, I think my snowboarding just stepped up because I was snowboarding with more intention. And then also being able to come on more trips like this, so more time in the summers. Osvaldo is looking for somebody to buy him a snowboard. Man, a good way is to like check out a local like reuse it place, or like a place where people donate sporting equipment. I know that there's a place in Whistler, and for me, like instead of trying to sell off my old gear, I usually just like donate it. And I know a lot of people, you know, in Colorado, especially Osvaldo, if that's where you are in the, like the Denver area, I'm sure there is just like so much snowboard gear that people have used and then donate in the Colorado area. So maybe look into a place like that. I think that's like a good alternative. Roomba wants to know, when are you guys going to hit New Zealand again? So would love to be in New Zealand. I think, and maybe not for another year, just because New Zealand is pretty much closed to people from other countries. So at the moment, I don't think we can, even if we want to go to New Zealand, we can't. Was actually talking to David Jones today. Hopefully get to plan a trip with him for this upcoming winter. But yeah, New Zealand is definitely like one of my favorite places to ride. Wanaka, Cardrona, but yeah, I just can't get down there at the moment. So hopefully it will be like around this time next year. Gabriel saying with the super chat, thanks man, says, coffee for autograph tomorrow morning at base of the park. Awesome. You know what, they give me a coffee. Actually, a coffee would be nice, to be honest. But yeah, it would just be fun to meet up. Autograph, sure, whatever you want, man. I'm in 100%. So I'll keep an eye out. If you see me around that coffee break area, just come up and say hi. No need to buy me a coffee. If you have an extra one, I'm a coffee drinker, so that's awesome. But yeah, we can just like hang out and maybe do a lap or two and just hang out, man. So yeah, I'll see you up there tomorrow. That's awesome. Engen's just mentioning something pretty cool, that the town of Zermatt is actually car free. So there's no cars in Zermatt. There are these like tiny, like miniature, like kind of transport vehicles that are whizzing around all the trails and paths. So they do have those, but there's no cars. So that's definitely interesting. And the little vehicles that do kind of run around, I believe they're all electrical, so you don't really hear them either. So if everything's very quiet, yeah, there's no like stop signs or street lights or anything like that. So it's all walking paths, and just a really cool place to walk around, and very authentic to Switzerland too. So everything has that look and feel of Switzerland. So it's a really, really cool spot to be in. Kenny on board says you. Nice to see Kevin ripping it up in Switzerland. Thank you. Awesome, Kenny. Thanks for hopping on here, man. And Nicholas says, greetings from Texas. What's up, Nicholas? Thanks for tuning in. David says, I would like to rent a house for the winter, as I have always done, but since they closed cable cars for COVID, I can't make up my mind. Maybe this could be the year. Yeah, this could be the year. I feel like it's still a bit of an unknown about what's going to happen this winter. But hopefully things get more back to normal, and man, I hope you can rent a place, someplace where you can snowboard as much as you like to. That's the best way to do it. And Jen saying too, Swiss ain't cheap. That's true. Switzerland's not the cheapest country, but the way that we've been getting around it has definitely been just getting groceries, eating at home. We've eaten out a couple times, but yeah, you just kind of have to change your spending habits a little bit while you're here. Marlon's watching from Southwest Florida. Awesome, Marlon. Ruben wants to know, best board for all mountain terrain for an intermediate. Yeah, good question, Ruben. I don't want to shit at one specific board, but I would say the type of board that I would recommend is something that, so flex-wise for all mountain, I think you probably on the stiffer side, so like a 6 or a 7 on the flex rating, something that'll give you some stability while riding through some of that all-terrain, those all-terrain conditions, all-mountain conditions. But also something that's not too aggressive either, because intermediate rider, you need something that's going to be a bit forgiving, like going through carves or things like that. So something that's got some rocker towards the tips. And I think if you can combo that up with a board that's like a mediumly priced, somewhere in the mid price range, then I think you can find like a great board. So yeah, for the stability, for picking up your speed while riding like carves or anything like that, maybe something that's a 6 or 7, something that's camber with some rocker towards the tips, and something that's like not too expensive but not too inexpensive either, something right in the middle. And then if you want to throw in a board that has a bit of a wider nose and more of a narrow tail, so a tapered board, that can help too with if you have a powder day and if you want to dip it into powder a bit, then that's kind of something nice to have too. Oz says, do you really don't like Burton boards, or is it just that Capita is your sponsor? So no, I don't have a sponsor, but Burton did, I did get to ride some Burton boards last year. I got to ride their 3D line, which was incredible. So the Burton Deep Days, what was it? The Deep Days, the Daily Driver, and the Double Dog. I think it was called the Double Dog. So there's three boards that were 3D, and they all had D names. And yeah, I had a super good time on those Burton boards. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, check out the video. I made it, I think it was like late February, where yeah, they sent me out some of their 3D shapes and had a blast on them in powder days. So yeah, love Burton boards too. I feel like it's like with any brand, it's like I'm not gonna ride the entire line of boards, but there's certain boards in each brand I think that are incredible that I like to ride. The last year, it's been fun riding some Capita boards in the park, just because that's kind of just the boards that I found that I liked. But yeah, I may change it up, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. But trying to ride as many different boards as possible. Turning Board says, anyone on electric skateboards shredding the streets up over there? Haven't seen too many electric skateboards around. I've seen some like just regular skateboards. There's a lot of like electric mountain bikes, so quite a few of those, but not too many electric skateboards yet. I think it's because the streets are kind of a bit more uneven here. Actually, I don't know. There's some terrain to ride, so I'm surprised. But yeah, no electric skateboards yet. David says, hey Kevin, tuning in here from LA. I'm going to Zermatt in December. What area are you staying in Zermatt? So David, basically like the town is very small. So anywhere you stay, you're between like, I would say like, a 2 to like 20-minute walk from the gondola. Yeah, the area that we're staying in right now is closer to the gondola, but across the river. And so we have about a 5-minute walk to the gondola, and maybe like a 10-minute walk to the grocery store. So my advice would be to stay someplace where you're kind of not too far from either one. If you can get someplace where you're not, too far of a walk from the gondola, but also the grocery store and the main sort of center of town's not too far away too, that's kind of like a good compromise. The other thing to consider is that, most of the places are right down the center of the valley, close to the river. But as the mountains go up, there's actually like more places that kind of are like scattered throughout the mountain as you kind of go up away from the valley. So keep that in mind when you're booking, that if you see a place like way off to the side, it may be like at the top, like up a few hundred steps. So something to keep in mind when you're booking a place. But yeah, we stayed on the other side of the river last year, and it was good. It was really close to the gondola, but not super close to the grocery store. So had that trade-off. And the first time we stayed here, we were right in the center of town. So really close to the grocery store, a little bit further from the gondola. But the thing with staying right in the middle of town is that it's a bit more like noisy. So you may have some noise like waking you up in the morning or keeping you up. But if you're into that kind of thing and you like going out and kind of like feeling that like nightlife or like town energy, then the center of town is fun too. So yeah, a few things to keep in mind if you're looking to book a place here in Zermatt. Yeah, Clisseru is saying there aren't many e-skateboards because there are many enduro and downhill e-bikes instead. That is true. Yeah, there's so many e-bikes in the valley. Kekleon45 says, has it been a hassle to organize travel, especially with border control and COVID checks? It has been a bit of a hassle for sure. So booking this trip, we really had to do it last minute because we didn't know, we couldn't actually travel until like maybe like a week before we booked the trip. So we had to book it super late. As soon as we saw that like Canadians could get over to Europe, I was just like, all right, let's go. It's time to book. So booking trips has been hard because you can't book them like ahead of time. You have to do it kind of with late notice. And then the other thing is that, you know, when you arrive at the airport, you got to have a COVID test. You have to have all your papers with you. You have to be able to prove that you've had your vaccines. You have to pass your test. And then you also need to, and then you have to fill out like these entry forms. So there's a lot of paperwork when traveling now, either like digitally, just like on your phone, or like having it printed out. But other than that, if you can get through those like few steps, then it's not too bad. On my last trip when I was in Oregon, I did have to like cut my snowboarding short one day because I had to go get the COVID test before getting onto the airplane. So sometimes you can kind of interfere with your trip, but it just is what it is at the moment. And yeah, super happy that could make it work for this one. But definitely a bit more hassle to get to through countries at the moment. We got Edgar watching from Chile. Shout out Edgar, thanks man. Would love to be in Chile right now too. I hope you're getting some good turns down there. And Jen is hooking some people up with some spare rooms and some possible lessons. That's awesome, and Jen. Osvaldo wants to trade a kidney for a snowboard trip to Switzerland. Awesome. Greg says, any tips for a 40-plus-year-old planning to learn snowboarding in December? Greg, definitely, man. So I would say first, first get all the safety gear. So helmet, impact shorts, that'll protect your tailbone, wrist guards. Probably the three most common injuries in snowboarding is either your head, so helmet, your tailbone, so your impact shorts, or your wrists, so wearing wrist guards. So protect all three of those. That's like a good start. Then check out all the beginner videos on the channel. So that'll give you kind of like a good sort of mental preparation of what to come. And then, yeah, if you can, get a lesson. It's always good to have somebody there to help you out, to kind of like walk you through the steps. And then finally, just like take your time. So learn at your own pace. Don't feel like you have to learn everything like really like all in one day. Just go at your own pace. Even if you have an instructor that's trying to like, you know, really rush you through things, just go at your own pace. Like if it's a bit slower, then take it a bit slower. If you feel like you're progressing fast, you know, go with it. But just as long as you're having a good time and you're not like pushing it too hard and exerting yourself too much. So I think that's like the most important thing. Having all the safety gear, getting some knowledge ahead of time, and then just enjoying the like learning process. For me, like it took me like 3 days to get my turns down. I didn't have any lessons or experience or safety gear. Like I was like 15-year-old kid. But after those, like, I think that's a kind of a normal progression, is like 2 or 3 days to kind of get everything to where making some turns and feeling comfortable. One more thing too is like try to go when the snow conditions are good, or like at least decent. So try to go when there's just like a decent amount of snow and the snow is going to be like relatively soft. That one's a bit more harder to control, but if you can learn with decent snow, that helps too. All right, Edgar says, been watching all your videos, motivated me a lot to do snowboarding here, so I'm traveling this weekend. Many thanks for your videos, man. I've seen even from 2013, I think. Awesome, great content. GLHF, awesome, Edgar. Yeah, stoked that you've been watching the videos. Thank you for checking them out, and yeah, hope you have a good time snowboarding this weekend, man. Noah is saying, that's crazy, still snowboarding in mid-September. Or midsummer, sorry. Yeah, it is crazy, but yeah, it's so much fun just being able to keep riding every month, and just helps you to like stay on your game and just keep progressing. So love being out here in August. All right. Nathan saying, why are you in Zermatt for the snow park? Up in the snow park. Greg saying, thanks guys, really can't wait. My 10-year-old is starting as well. Awesome, Greg. Yeah, that's perfect. And then maybe you guys can help each other out too. Like as you're learning, it's always good to learn with somebody, because then you can kind of like feed off each other, and yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I hope your son or daughter has a great time doing it. All right, let me just check over to the super chats, make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I got them all. Mariano says, which board you kept with you over the years? Probably the board I've ridden the most over like consecutive years has been the excuse me, the Libtech Orca. So rode the Orca for, I think it was like about 2.5 seasons. And the Orca was just like, yeah, it's like a great all mountain board. You can take it in powder and for free riding. Not great in the park. So it's not like if you're into park riding, the Orca is not gonna work there too well. But yeah, just a really fun all mountain free ride board that you can do kind of a bit of everything around the mountain. It's that mix between aggressive and also kind of forgiving, and it floats well. So yeah, I really like that board a lot. So rode it for a couple seasons, and of all the boards, that's the one I stuck with solidly for at least two seasons. So. And we got Eagle Master Fox watching from Geneva. Awesome, thank you, man. Yeah, shout out to Geneva too, such a cool city. Last summer, I spent some time in Geneva. The old part is incredible. Just so many cool like restaurants and buildings and history. So beautiful city, and then it's also on Lake Geneva, which is incredible as well. When you take the train from the Geneva airport, if you're coming to Zermatt, you like the train goes along the lake, and it's yeah, it's a really incredible train ride. So definitely one of the most like beautiful spots in the world for sure. Bad Riders says Orcapod. Yeah, man, absolutely. Adam Searles is on here, says, what's up, legends? So awesome to see the dream team, super friends, Kevin, Yannick, and Rav, some of the best filmers in the biz. Yeah, shout out to, yeah, Yannick and Rav coming on the trip, helping the film. Those guys are like, yeah, they're killing it. They've been helping so much. They've been helping to get the new intro logo up on the last video, so that was amazing. Helping with some filming, and more plans too. More things to come. So they've got some serious things in the works, and you guys will find out about them very soon. Awesome, guys. So just gonna end the live chat there, just over an hour. But yeah, thank you guys for hopping on. Just wanted to share with you guys everything that's happening here in Zermatt, Switzerland, up in the snow park. And yeah, just kind of answer any of your questions about that. But We've got a couple more days of riding and a few more videos coming out, so look out for those. If you guys haven't yet, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're stoked on the live chats, hit the bell so that you get notified every time I go live. But yeah, I hope you guys are either getting some good turns out there snowboarding or looking forward to the upcoming winter and getting prepared. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Amazing. Thanks again, guys. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, later.